Hey, welcome to this episode of the show. Are you ever afraid to take some action in your business or your life? Like maybe reaching out to a friend about your business or attending a big mastermind event that maybe is expensive, or maybe you don't even have a business yet and you're trying to decide if you should start one. Hi, I'm Carrie Baxter. I teach mompreneurs how to get leads and build their businesses online using social media. And in this episode, we're going to talk a little bit about fear and some ways that you can approach your decision making in a different way to get over some of those fears and move forward. In network marketing, I would say that more network marketers fail because they do nothing rather than doing the wrong things. Like, I think it would be better to do the wrong things than to do nothing. So I have some notes here. I'm going to look down here at my iPad a couple times. So get in your mind something you're afraid of doing in your business right now. Think about that. Get something. It could be starting, it could be prospecting, recruiting, closing, building your team, not knowing how to start new team members, whatever it is, get it in your mind and think about it, because I'm going to show you a way to a new technique to get over that. And actually, it's not a new technique. It's a very old technique from Stoicism, from the ancient Greek philosophy from long time ago, and I recently heard about this again through Tim Ferriss. So it's a really good technique and it works like crazy. So let's talk a little bit about this. What if you had complete control over your emotions? Now, this comes a little bit from the Stoicism part of things. What if you were never disappointed? What if you were never embarrassed? What if you were never frustrated and you were never overwhelmed? Would that change things in your business? I think in your job, if you always knew the right thing to say and you always said it at the right time. In your personal relationships, what if you never flew off the handle and never lost your temper with your spouse or your kids? That would really change how you are. What if you always knew what to say on the phone to prospects? And you can't control your emotions all the time, 100% of the time, but you can learn to control them better and get really better results out of this. So here we go. The first step in doing this is to define your fear. There's some worksheets that go along with this. So if you want to download those, head on down right below my video and download these worksheets. And I think you will get a lot out of them if you actually use them, which I highly recommend. So step one, you're going to take the first worksheet, and at the top of the worksheet, you're going to write down your biggest fear or the big decision that you're trying to figure out what to do. And then in the first column, you're going to write 10 to 20 things that have to do with that fear that you're afraid of. So maybe if it's prospecting, if you're afraid of prospecting in your business, which this is something I had to overcome and still work on it all the time. What are some examples with prospecting? Maybe you can think of some. People are afraid to reach out to other people because they don't know what to say, or they're afraid of sounding stupid, or they're afraid someone will say something mean to them on the phone. So you're going to go ahead and write down 10 to 20 of those things that you're afraid of with that fear. Now, in the second column, you're going to write down what you could do to prevent those things. So if you don't know what to say, maybe you could watch a video on what to say to prospects and practice them. Practice them in the mirror, and then you'll have some things to say. If you're afraid of sounding stupid, go back to the practicing. Practice in the mirror so you have some things in your toolbox to say to your prospects. If you're afraid someone will be mean to you on the phone, well, there's two things you should know. First of all, it's going to happen to everybody. If you prospect enough people, somebody will say something mean to you. Second of all, it doesn't happen very often. So if it happens, you call your upline, you have a good laugh about it and you move on, and you know that you're on the right track, because you've now joined the ranks of all the successful people who have prospected enough to get a mean reply. And then in that third column on that first sheet, you're going to talk about how to repair the damage if one of those things does happen. So what if you're prospecting and you do say the wrong thing? How do you repair that damage? First of all, the prospect will probably never know that you said the wrong thing. Second of all, you write it down and learn it for next time and you do better. So fill that first worksheet out. That's a good one to get you started. Step two, you want to write down what's something good that could come from making this decision. Now, you want to be conservative here. You don't want to think, I could sign up a person who earns $1 million. No, you want to be conservative. You want to think, hey, I'll get on the phone and I'll make a great connection with a new person. Maybe I'll make a new friend. Maybe I'll get a new customer. Maybe I'll get a new teammate, right? You just write down some things that good could come out of it. Maybe, the whole point of the call is that then you'll feel successful and you'll feel brave and you'll know you made the right decision by reaching out to this person. Regardless of how the call turns out, you'll know that you did the right thing. You get to check that box off for today and move on to the next person. Step 3 in the process, this is the most powerful part. What is the cost of inaction? What is the cost of doing nothing? So financially, physically, emotionally, and then you want to fill that out for 3 months, 6 months, and 3 years. Any longer than that, it's too far away for your brain to really comprehend what's going on. So what if you don't do any prospecting? How will you feel in 3 months? I can tell you how you're going to feel because I've done it. You're going to feel guilty. Like you're going to have the pit in your stomach that's like, I know I should be doing this and I'm not doing it. In 6 months, what's going to happen? Oh, that pit maybe will go away, but in the back of your mind, you're still thinking, I'm failing at this business because I'm not doing anything. And in 3 years, how's that going to look? If you never do anything, you'll be in the same place you are today, possibly worse. You won't have a plan B. If there's major medical issues in your family, if someone loses a job, you don't have a fallback plan. You won't have brought your family some financial freedom. You won't have extra money to pay for your kids' soccer. Whatever that looks like, 3 years from now, what is the cost of doing nothing? And a lot of times that will be more powerful than the rest of the exercise because we're so afraid of pain, right? Like pain drives us more than pleasure. So really write down what's going to happen if you do nothing. So download those worksheets, do this exercise. It's very powerful. Don't just think it in your head. Don't use my prospecting example as your own. Like really go through this and do it for yourself. I would love to see and hear what you did for this exercise, what your fear was and what you got out of it, if you would be brave enough to share. So comment below. Let me know if you got value from this video. Please share it. Please like it. And download the worksheets. Let me know if they help you. And I will see you in the next episode. Have a great week.